Hey, good morning. I'm so glad that you all could be here today for the What Works Marketing webinar series. Today, we're going to talk about the top 5 ways to up your marketing game. Last year, I started the What Works Marketing series because that's what everyone asks me when I'm out networking and talking with clients. What works when it comes to marketing? And I have to say, it's a little different for every business. Just based on your business goals and what you're trying to accomplish. But the topic we're covering today really focuses in on those things that you can do right now to improve your marketing. Let me get started here. So, what are we going to cover today? So, I do marketing strategy for a living. I love talking about marketing strategy. And so want to give you a little bit more in depth today on how you actually go about creating a marketing strategy. We're going to be talking about why it's so important to update your website, about investing in SEO, gathering online reviews, and building trust through video. And then I'll open it up at the end for any questions. So let's just dive right into this today. Creating a marketing strategy. It frustrates me to no end when people just dive into marketing and they throw tactics at the wall like spaghetti just to see what sticks. And so it's a lot more involved than that. You really need to take the time to figure out what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and then really understand also your target audience and your customers. Where do they get their information? And really start to put it all together. So I use a process called the 5 keys. This is really just a communication process and following the steps to create a true marketing strategy that is going to give you goals and be able to evaluate what works for your company, because not every tactic is going to work for you. And so what I like to do is start with assessment. This is really kind of the branding stage. This is understanding your company identity. Why do you do what you do? What are your beliefs? What are your core values? How do you create those key messages that you want people to know about your business? It also takes the time to understand your customers. Who are they? Where do they get their information? What tactics are going to work for that audience? How are you going to reach them? And then thinking about goals. What are your business goals? What do you want to accomplish for the year? And then breaking that down so that you are creating smaller campaigns and really moving the needle towards those bigger goals with your marketing efforts. Kind of what we're talking about here, that planning stage. This is where you're going to figure out what tactics are going to work for you. And this is where you're going to create your strategy, your timeline, your implementation calendar. It's really where you kind of put the nuts and bolts of it together. And then you execute the plan. But what's really important is at the end to take time to evaluate your results. Understand what it is that, what worked, what didn't work. So these are those 5 keys that go into a marketing strategy. But I'm going to get into this a little bit more in depth today. So what does it really look like? When you are doing your assessment, the first part, as I mentioned, this is where you're figuring out your company brand and your ideal customers. So why do you do what you do? Even if you have the same product as 5 other vendors, why you do what you do is going to be different. And that is going to help you stand apart from the crowd. Your core values, what's important to you? What's important, not only do you want your customer or your customers to be attracted to, but your employees. What is it what experience do you want people to have when they interact with your employees? What are the values of your company? And then your unique selling points. Again, what is making you stand out? One of my favorite tricks to do this is to look at your competitors, find out what are they doing well, what are their weaknesses, and then how do you do it differently? That's a really good way to try to figure out your unique selling points. On the flip side, you have your ideal customers. So think about, if you're currently in business, if you could have 100 of your best customer, what are they? Who are they? Where do they get their information? You know, what type of demographics do they have? What do they have in common? Are they, you know, what are their characteristics? Are there certain values that they have? Are there certain behaviors? It's different for everybody, but you know, looking at what you have in common with them and think about where they get their information based on that. And then create a customer profile for each of your ideal customers, because you could have 3, 4, 5 different types of ideal customers based on the products and services that you offer. And then those communication outlets. How do they like to be communicated with? Is it social media? Is it word of mouth, referrals? It could be, one of their behaviors could be that they are really involved with their kids' sports. I mean, do you need to be out there with banners at the sports venues? You know, there's so many different things that you can do to reach people. Sometimes you just have to be a little creative and understand who your people are and where they get their information. And then from that, you take all of this information and you create your key messages. This could be your elevator speech. This could be what is on your website. This could be what's in your brochures or your social media. It is how you describe your company. The next part would be goal setting. So write out your annual goals. What are you trying to accomplish for the year as a business? And then break that down into a smaller marketing goal. So what are you, you know, this quarter, what can you do to move the needle towards reaching your annual goals? And then creating strategies. And it could be 2, 3, 4 strategies that you're coming up with to achieve that marketing goal. But each of those strategies are going to have certain tasks that have to be done. And those tasks go into creating that implementation calendar. So this week I need to accomplish these tasks. Next week I need to do this. And all of that, putting that all together helps you stay on track to creating your marketing plan. And then it's just implementing. It's executing the plan and then evaluating the results. I can't tell you how many people forget to evaluate. This is a big part where people need to go back and say, okay, not only did we make our marketing goal, but evaluate each tactic. You know, what messages resonated on social media? What got you a lot of interaction? What emails did you send out? You know, what messages are resonating? What leads to that call to action? And then if you tried some things that didn't work at all, throw them out of the mix. You know, I don't want you wasting time and money on things that aren't going to work for you. And using a smaller campaign, a shorter time frame is going to help you save money in the long run. All right, so now that I've kind of given you that overview of marketing strategy, let's talk about some of these tactics. And today I'm going to share with you 5 statistics on what is happening right now in the market. And then I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do right now that will improve your marketing game. So let's start with your website. "89% of consumers switched to a competitor's website as a result of a bad user experience." Think about yourself. If you go to a website and it's terrible, how quickly do you click off of that and go to a competitor? You know, 61% of all visits to websites were from mobile devices. You know, that smartphone is becoming more and more important when it comes to buying decisions, shopping, looking up information about people. 70% of small businesses don't have a call to action on their website homepage. When people come to your website, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to call you, to click on, fill out a contact form? Do you want them to buy something? What is that call to action that you want them to have? 86% of people want to see a product or service information on the website's homepage. You've got to make it easy for them to find the information that they want, because they're coming to you with a problem and they want to know that you can solve that problem, whatever it is. And then 64% of people really want contact information to be readily available. It's really frustrating when you go to a website and you're scrolling around and you can't find either the phone number or an email or figuring out how to get a hold of somebody. Again, if you think of that bad user experience, people are going to bounce and go to somebody where they can reach somebody. All right, so here are my 5 website tips for you. So if your website is more than 2 years old, it is time to update. Things change so fast. What Google is looking for on the back end of your website, making sure it's mobile friendly. Things like clickable links. If somebody's on their phone and they hover over your phone number, will it click up that you can automatically call? If you're at a Google map, is there a map on your website where they can look for your location? All those things that make it easier for somebody to find and interact with you. Again, number 2, making sure it's mobile friendly. I can't stress enough how important those top 2 things are. Increasing load time and page speed to improve user experience. So people have, it used to be that people had a 15-minute, attention span. And when it comes to websites, though, people have about a 3-second, span that they're willing to wait for a website to load. So increasing that load time and page speed, a lot of times it's because pictures are too big. It just takes too long. Think of your own experience again. Are you frustrated when you go to a website and it takes too long for something to load? You bounce. Again, make sure there's a clear call to action. I want people that go to your website to know exactly what you want them to do. It needs to be all over the place. Contact me, email me, call me, buy this product. What is it that you want them to do? But make sure that it's really easy for people to do that. And then having multiple ways for visitors to contact you. People are going to come in a lot of different ways. They could come through your social media. So, do you take, Facebook Messenger? Do you take, all the different ways? Do you want a contact form that there's an email? If you do have a contact form, is there somebody that monitors that email so they're responding in real time? But people are going to want to reach you in multiple different ways, and being flexible and open for them to reach you however they want to do it is really important. Investing in SEO. SEO, or search engine optimization, is the back end of your website. And it's how Google reads your website. It's what happens. Google's the most important, or the very top search engine out there. YouTube, and I've just gone blank. YouTube is another big one. Yahoo. But a lot of these big search engines out there, they crawl the back of your website to find out the information that people are looking for. And so it's really important to have your back end, a robust back end with all of the information and the headings and the titles. There's so many things that go into it, but making sure that that's really built out is important. All right. So 68% of online experiences begin with the search engine. Think of your own shopping. If you are interested in something, the first thing you're going to do is search for it on the web to find out the information. 3.5 billion is the estimated number of searches on Google every day. That's a lot of people looking for a lot of information. So that's why it's so incredibly important to have a website with strong SEO. 75% of searchers never go past the first page of search results. One of my favorite quotes is, "The best place to hide a dead body is on the second page of Google." And that is because, most people don't go past the first page, but most don't even go past the top three. Those top three spaces are the very most important on a search engine. And so having that strong SEO helps you get to the first page and even possibly up to the very top. So 76% of people who search on their smartphones for something nearby visit that business within a day. So think of how important that is. If somebody is looking for something, they're ready to buy. And so being able to be found, you're going to have traffic within a day into if you have a store. And then 15% is the conversion rate of SEO leads. Well, outbound leads like emails, print, have a 1.7% close rate. So if you could close 15% of the leads that you're getting, that's really, really strong. So my top 5 tips for SEO. So update your website's on-page SEO to be search engine friendly. Target relevant primary and secondary keywords. This is going to be really important. There are some tools out there that you can use through Google that help you figure out what keywords you should be using. And you can look up your competitors as well to find out what keywords they're using. You can write quality content on your website that's original and evergreen. So again, Google likes to see a lot of content. So it's how they figure out, what information, what you offer, and if you are solving people's problems. So blogs are a great way to add content. If you do have blogs and you haven't touched them in a while, just go back and update your post. That takes it back up to the top of Google's list and shows, oh, well, they've got fresh content. Using a mix of external and internal links to improve crawlability, user experience, and credibility. So one of the things that Google also likes to look at is, how are you linked to other websites? How credible are you? So are there articles out there that you are, highlighted in? Can you link to those? Are there business partners that you can have them link back to you? Those internal and external links are really important. And then the last part is leveraging your Google reviews. I'm going to go into that a little bit more, but those more and more a Google review shows that you are a credible business and that people should be doing business with you. And so those are really important. Next, let's talk about those online reviews. 97% of consumers report that the customer reviews they read influence their purchasing decisions. Think of all the things that you go out there. I don't think I could have made a decision on any type of purchase in a long time without first looking at the reviews. Not only the good ones, but the bad ones. They're really important to help figure out whether or not you want to try something. 84% of people trust online reviews as much as they trust recommendations from friends. So these are people who are out there, they've really tried it themselves and they had an experience, whether it was good or bad, and you can trust their feedback. 89% of customers won't take action before they read some reviews. 68% of all consumers provide a review for a local business after being asked to do so. So are you taking the time to ask your customers for a review? I know it's not hard and it's not always comfortable, but it's becoming more and more important for businesses to get those online reviews. 94% of consumers refuse to patronize a business because of negative reviews. So I'm not saying that you need to have all 5-star reviews. In fact, if you have like a 4.8, people actually see that as more credible because you've had real experiences. And it's how you respond to those negative reviews that's so important. So online review tips. One thing you can do is identify the right moments to ask according to the customer's journey. The best time to ask for a review is when people are really happy with your service. So, when is a customer most happy with what you've done? Is it, it's different for every business, but make reviews convenient for the customer. Consider a text message versus an email because it's more immediate. You can add that right into your sales process. You can train your team to ask for reviews as part of that regular sales process. So if it's not just you, if you have a whole team, asking for that review or making it automated so a text message or an email goes out immediately after the transaction is completed, it's a really good time to ask people is when they're most happy. And then create different spaces to leave reviews. I mean, it could be on Google, Facebook, Yelp, Amazon, even the Better Business Bureau. I know that one's not used as much anymore, but that's still a place where you can leverage it. And respond to all reviews, both good and bad. Think about if you've ever seen a negative review online, how did the company respond? Did they go out there and try to make it better, try to make it right, give opportunities to continue to keep that relationship with the customer? Or did they just ignore it and make someone even more angry? And the last part is building trust through video. People today crave a connection. We're so busy online and with all the technology and all the different things, but people still crave that personal touch and that interaction. So building trust through video is a really important tool for your business. So 80% of people prefer videos over written text when they're learning about a product or service. They like that teaching, that interaction with somebody so they can actually see it and experience it versus just reading about it. 90% of the information gathered from a video is retained by the customer. That's huge. That's really valuable for your company if your customers are retaining the information that you're providing them. 88% of people say that they've been convinced to buy a product or service by watching a brand's video. I know I've been influenced before by this, but it's just more and more people want the video aspect to your website, to your social media. It can be used in so many different ways, but it's again, building that connection. 62% of video views are from mobile users. So again, making sure that you are mobile friendly in whichever way that you are out there, whether you have your videos on your website or Facebook or wherever they may live. 54% of consumers want to see more video content from a brand or a business that they support. So it's only growing, this video content. And I know for a lot of you that you're going to say, oh, I really don't want to do videos. I don't like to be videoed. Well, it's not quite as scary as you think it might be. All right, so video tips. Start using video to start meaningful conversations with your customer and focus on stories, not sales. A really great, one of my video people once told me, think about the top 5 things that if you wanted to sit down and have a conversation, what are the top 5 things that you want to convey to them? Well, and then think about if each of those 5 things could be a separate video that you could be using to engage, to interact with your customers. It really shows your personality. How do you understand a brand and who they are? If you can get the people behind the scenes to really open up and show you what the company is all about. Again, don't forget to include calls to action in those videos, what do you want them to do at the end of the video? Do you want them to call you? Are they supposed to download something in a link below? What is it you want them to do? And then again, those videos can be optimized for SEO with keywords and tags. As I mentioned, YouTube is becoming one of the top search engines. So having that video content out there with keywords and tags and being able to be searched is really important. All right, I know I went through this really fast, but these are the top 5 things that you can do right now that can really improve your business. A lot of the tips and the things that I covered today are actually taken from other What Works marketing videos that we've done throughout the past year. If you want more in-depth information, you can go to the King PR and Marketing page on YouTube. We've got how to create a marketing strategy, unlocking the secrets of SEO, building trust through video, the importance of online reviews, and how to get your business found online. A lot of the content I took today are in much longer, much more detailed in those videos. We also have a couple upcoming webinars that I would love for you to join us for. In July, we're going to talk about the convergence of print and digital. Bryant Bynum of Alpha Graphics is going to talk about how print, digital marketing, and communication efforts all work together to convey a message, entice an action, or elicit an emotion. I've also gotten a lot of questions about graphic design. So in August, we're going to talk about the impact of graphic design. Question I often get is, when is it time for a brand refresh? Do I need to update my logo? So Michael Feiger of Devil Dog Marketplace is going to be discussing the importance of graphic design and how your design impacts the way customers view your brand. And so to register for any of these webinars, just go to King PR and Marketing on LinkedIn. And then, the last thing is, let's connect. I love to network with people, and so I'm offering a free 30-minute call if you wanted to talk about your marketing needs. It may be something I can help with, or I know a lot of experts in the field, so if I can recommend you to someone else, I'll do that too. But if you'll just go to kingprandmarketing.com/meet us, you'll go right to my calendar and you can schedule a time that we can meet. I hope that this has added some value to you today, and I look forward to talking to you all very soon. Thank you so much.